Hey everybody, I named my channel Home 301 because I live at 301 Anywhere Street, USA. I turned 60 a year ago and I feel like time is speeding up for me. I have a huge hoard of crafting supplies and I'm really determined to get them all used up before I turn 70. So why don't you come inside and watch while I do some crazy crafting? I can tell we're going to be great friends. I'm going to show you the finished little kitty cat dragon that I made, and my girlfriend named her Lovina, the Gypsycat. She started out as just a plain white little kitty with some little yellow ears. I measured her and she was about 7 inches, 6 inches tall, and I know I want the wings to come up over her head. So if you measure the body and take about a half of the measurement of the body, I think I went with 4 inches. Then you just freehand a little batty bat wing. She kept trying to tell me she was going to be a dragon, but she just kept turning into a bat instead. That's the thing when you're doing art. Kind of go with the flow, see how it feels. Do what looks right and feels right to you. I could have made these wings out of pretty much any kind of material, except maybe metal. But I decided to go with a kid's art foam because it's a little stronger to use as a base. You can see here I was picking out some wire to attach to my base, and I wanted my wings to be bendy, so I thought I'd use this bendy purple wire. Plus it matches the foam that I'm using, so it makes me feel good. They can be fiddly, but if you just keep going for it, you'll eventually get them where you want them. Of course, I lost the part of filming where I put the paper clay over the wire and onto the foam base. But you can see that that's what I did. I used glue underneath the paper clay so that when it dried, it would adhere to the foam base really well. It was also a little bit fiddly, but I just worked with it until I got it to stay on. I have this one container of Mod Podge that I've put water in to water it down. And it's a little too drippy. A little. So I'm going to add some full strength Mod Podge to it and thicken it up a little bit. That's my plan. I'm going to take this tissue and Mod Podge it over the paper clay and the foam base so that all the layers will be sandwiched between glue, basically. And this goes pretty fast, and it also dries pretty fast. I spent half of my life waiting for glue to dry, I swear to God. If you like this kind of project, it would sure make me happy if you gave me a like on my new channel. I'm starting to get the hang of everything. I was telling a bunch of stories and I got some feedback. Guess people don't like a lot of stories when they're just trying to watch a crafty video. And I get that. I guess I'm the same way. So just watch me craft. And I will do all my chatty business on a podcast that I'm going to start on Spotify. I'm calling it Child of the 70s. And I hope somebody would like to go over and listen to talk about my childhood. I grew up in Post Falls, Idaho in the 70s, and that's all I knew. And that's what I want to talk about. Plus, I want to talk to other people who grew up in the 70s as well. So I'm looking for people between the ages of 60 and 65 who really remember their childhood in the 70s. By the time 1980 rolled around, I felt all grown up. I was 15. And I would be getting married in about a year. I'd be having a baby in just a couple of more years. So yeah, I feel like I grew up fast in the 70s. Is that what happens when you're raised by TV? We were definitely the first generation to be raised by TV. And it's only gotten worse since. Or is it worse? I don't know. Maybe it's about the same. Just more of it. Now I'm going to start using my favorite clay that will stick anything to anything and then dry as hard as a rock with no baking or any other special thing. You just need to make sure it stays where you want it so that when it's dry, it will stay there forever. Look at that wing. That's not going to go anywhere once I get it all pressed down. You can use a little bit of water to help smooth it out. I got all these tools for clay crafting, probably at Rest in Peace, Joanne. I miss you a lot. So once you get that first wing on, the second one can either go smooth and fast or not. It's a crapshoot. You don't know. Really, all you can do is just get started. So let's go. Wanted to get it placed right in the groove of the little kitty's shoulder. Just would fit naturally right there. This one looks like it might be going on okay. It's not giving me too much of a hassle. Just like that. She has wings. Yay, kitty. Yay, Gypsycat. Lovina the Gypsycat. Coming right along. And there you have her. Little kitty with wings. Little dragon batty wings. Wee, wee. Forgive me while I play for a second. Looking good. She is just about ready to paint. I kind of skipped the showing you how I slathered purples all over the body of my kitty. And now I'll show you a glimpse of painting the wings pink. So I thought I would paint white around the edge to make sure they were lighter than the center. And I gotta admit right here that I am not artistically capable of painting very well. I don't know how to put it. I suck at painting. I do. I'm pretty good at sculpting things, but painting them? I need a partner who can paint seriously. So I just keep adding different colors and layering it on. It gets pretty thick, so I spend the other half of my life waiting for paint to dry. I'm not too worried about where the wing meets the body at the base because I have a plan for that area. Something that will cover up all the mistake that might have been made there. And no, it's not glitter. It's something else. Wait and see. Ooh, it's time for a close-up. Lovina says, hey man, when are you gonna fix my eye? Well, it's a little embarrassing that I didn't put this part first, but it's kind of important to make all of your crevices in your statue darker so that all the painting that you put on afterwards, it's always going to be a little bit darker than the area around it. Unless, of course, you want to fix it and you don't want it that way. You can always, make it not darker. But for my purposes here, I really want to make those shadows deeper. And that's what I'm doing there. Now it's time to get out the mica powders. I bought these powders probably 15 years ago from Hobby Lobby. They were $25 back then. I can't imagine what they might be now, but mica powder is very fine and it's messier than glitter, if that's possible. I decided to use 2 tones of pink on the wings, and then I have 2 tones of purple to use on the body. You can see those 2 colors will go really well together. At first I used these sponges to apply the mica powders. I want to put the darker color on the ribs and then the lighter color in the membrane of the wing. It's funny because at first I wanted the outer part of the wing to be lighter, but I decided it needed to be darker. So I put the lighter color in first, get that in there really good, and now go in with that dark dusky rose. Really, this film video doesn't do it justice. It really is a gorgeous bronzy rose color. And since I'm going to put this Gypsycat out in my garden, it'll look really cute there. So now the challenge is to make it symmetrical. And also, you want to get the backs to complement the fronts. And this mica powder is really fun to work with, but it takes a little bit. I messed with this for probably 20-30 minutes. So I'm going to give you a nice little speed. I'll give you some speed through this part. Here we go. Dark spines of the ribs and light on the inside. Did I already say that? I might have already said that. Sorry. I use this watered down Mod Podge again, and then I let it dry for a few seconds, maybe a minute, and then I get it back to doing mica powder. I haven't really worked with mica powder too much before, maybe a little bit on some clay jewelry that I had made, but not very much. And it's taken me a minute to figure out the best way to apply it, mostly using a sponge. That seems to be the best. You know, pounce it, gotta rub it, gotta do all the techniques on this little Gypsycat wings. Now it's time to start up with the body. So I'm gonna use that same watery Mod Podge and get on the inside of her ears and mask out her face, how I want her face to be shiny. Not sure how to apply it again, so I'm kind of dumping it on with the end of a tool, kind of just to get it in there, As you start to work with a new medium, you start to figure out the best ways to apply it. And once you figure out your application process, it gets easier. So here I am just dumping it on. It's okay. And of course, here's the symmetry again. You want to play matchy-matchy and get both sides looking the same, or else it just doesn't look right. You know what I'm saying. Now I need to get her face a little more lighter, and I'm going to choose a little bit of that rosy pink that I used on her wings, and it really helps to pull her together so her face is got some of the same colors as her wings. And of course it's a her. I don't think a boy Gypsycat would look quite so glamorous. Now you can see that her back is looking pretty plain compared to all of the beautiful front parts. So we'll fix that up too. And now we're so used to the mica, we're just gonna dump it on. We don't even care anymore. I'm too tired now. And even though mica powder gives a really good opaque cover, you can still see where I had darkened all of her little crevices. So they're staying darker. So I was right. It worked. Yay. I love to be right. Who doesn't? Does anybody love to be wrong? I know some people who act like they love to be wrong because they're wrong all the time. Now, I also lost a part of the filming where I put these claw caps on her spikes. I got these things from Temu, and they're supposed to go over your dog's claws so that they don't scratch you up so much. And I did use them on my dog's claws, but I never will again because they go on with super glue, and then they don't come off very easily, and my dog chewed and chewed at her foot to get them off, and it just didn't turn out the way that I'd hoped. So I have found a different use for these silly things, and look at that. They look really good on her head as spikes, and they're made out of a soft plastic rubbery kind of thing. Now here also you can see that I'm putting finally some glitter. This is some pink glitter that is like a little kid's glitter. It's not very quality and it's very runny, but I can use it up on here. I'm just dumping it on there. I'm due for a break, so it can take a while to dry. That's okay with me. I also have this brown color of glitter that's all, I don't know what's wrong with these glitters that I got. I'm sure I got them from Walmart too. One of those packs of glitter. Maybe even the dollar store. Maybe that's what's wrong with them. But they're very watery. I wouldn't want to use them for anything precision if you needed precision glitter, because the assumption is it would be more precise because there's a nozzle, but it doesn't make it precise. It comes out pretty fast and gloppy. But it looks really good on Gypsycat here. Here's a good splotch of it. Just kind of spread it out a little. And when I put her out in the garden, maybe the sun will catch some of these little glitters and make her look all pretty. Here's another good line of glitter. Gotta make everything symmetrical again. Seems like that's the word of the day. Symmetrical. Looks like I'm gonna drag out some of my dark purple watery glitter. There are a few parts on her that are a little harsh lined, so this will help to blend it. It does a pretty good job of blending it up, and it's glitter. Oh, and it looks like I did fix her eyes already. Oh my gosh, people, I'm so sorry that I'm not really great at anticipating how I'm going to edit yet. I will get better at it. I swear I will. I already am getting better. But you can see that I did her eyes full black, just like on Supernatural. She's a demon cat now. Oh, well, now I'm embarrassed again, and we'll have to backtrack a little bit because I found the footage where I put those claw caps on her spikes. These are a pretty cool thing, and I wanted you to see that they just luckily fit right over those spikes that I had put on her head. And I made those spikes out of the epoxy sculpt, of course. They just sit right up on there. A really cool little detail that I enjoy. And there, she's all set. Time to cover up those joinings where the wings touch the body. I get these little boas of craft fur from Michael's. Since Joanne's not around anymore, I'm going to use these little red feathers to pop out from the black. And it's just going to be so cute. And of course, you have to be symmetrical. So let's get a feather on the other side too. I think that black feather is on there really good now. That's not going anywhere. Let's get that little red pop in there. Come on, Jeanette, you can do it. I know you can. Come on. Get it in there. There she goes. And she's in. This glue that I'm using for these feathers grabs on super fast and holds on very well. I think it's called Barely Art glue. There, I'm trying to see if she wants any hairy ears, but I decide not to. Oops, got some. She's pretty sticky. Blow all the loose feathers off. Oh, and here I get to use my little shark vacuum. It really does help to keep your area clean as you move through your project from step to step. And now I'm trying to figure out if I want to use some of these little sparkly dots. I'm just trying them out on her ears, but ultimately I'm pretty sure I didn't care for them in her ears. They didn't make any sense to me. It's like up on the edge, it doesn't really look like a piercing, and on the inside, I'm like, why is that in there? But I do like the one right in between her demon eyes. That one looks pretty good, so I'm gonna keep it. I got the right size, and I got it stuck on there pretty good. voila! Put just a little spot of glue on there so it won't pop off anytime soon. It's really irritating to have your art come apart. So I try to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen, my babies. We are really on the home stretch here, but I saw that she needs her little claws. I put her little claws on, and spoiler alert, I completely forgot to draw her mouth in until later. My last final pictures and my little AI mock-up that I did at the end does not have lips on, but her final picture does have her lips on. You'll see at the end. But I got her little claws on. One of them was a little too messy, too much. We could fix it. And that's the cool thing about making your own art, is you can keep doing it over as many times as you want to get it as good as you want it. And there we go. She looks so good on my flower bench. Fits right in. Of course, I didn't do her mouth. I already told on myself. But the very last picture of her, you will see that she has her mouth on. Gypsycat. Here she is with her mouth all on. She's so cute. And now, why don't you watch this little AI video that I did? I used Nana Banana, and don't hate me for being curious about AI. I think it's really fun to bring my little creations to life. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me today, and I will see you again next week. Bye!